All right, guys, we are doing a deep dive on Ormonde Jayne. Are you a fan of this house? Do you have a favorite? So, unfortunately, I only have 19 of their fragrances, so I don't have as many as some of my other brands that I have in this studio. But 19 fragrances covers a lot of the fragrances from this house. But I do want to say, don't be upset if I don't have your favorite featured here. And just because you think a fragrance is the best in the line, it doesn't necessarily mean others will think that as well. Because I've got some of the best here, but I don't have fragrances like Ormonde Woman. I never thought I'd get it. But I think what I have covers a pretty wide range of some of the fragrances that I consider are important from the house. So I discovered the house probably 12, 13 years ago for the first time. I think that's around the time they first launched. A lot of the fragrances in the past used to be created by BYZANCE, who is the perfumer for Eccentric Molecules fragrances. But lately, Linda of Ormonde Jayne has been working with perfumers from various firms that create fragrances. I do have a video with Linda of Ormonde Jayne that I've shot earlier this year. If you haven't caught that video, please go catch it. In that video, we speak about the launch of VETIVERIA. VETIVERIA is a redo of Zizan, I believe is what it was called. So that's a vetiver focused fragrance. And in the video also, she speaks about Vanilla Mistral, which is a Neiman Marcus exclusive. So those are fragrances that we speak about among many other, discussions that we had in there. It's a pretty long video. I think it's around 35 minutes. And you get to learn about the brand. And also you can do a search for the brand on the channel overall. There should be various videos on fragrances. For a long time, TOLU was my favorite. As you can see, I've used quite a bit of it. I loved it. It's a great balsamic fragrance with an orange blossom presence. But I think right now, some of the other fragrances might be favorites, but I think that's still a top 5. Like, I love Evernia. I love Kashmir. But we'll go through the line, and I'll go through the fragrances and discuss them with you and let you know what I think. Oh, I should not forget Vanille des Afriques. So good. It's one of my favorites from the house. So before we get started, as I said, why don't you tell me what your favorite fragrances are from Ormonde Jayne? When did you first discover the brand? Add a comment below. So let's talk about the first fragrance. It's Ambre Royal. So Ambre Royal, as you can see, we only have a pretty minimal collection of fragrances. But Ambre Royal, I did a full review of on the channel. And it's an amber like no other. First off, the brand, when you smell the fragrances of the brand, they're kind of... there's a classy elegance about them. They're not overwhelming. They're clean. A lot of them are very clean fragrances. And this one, to me, is not a syrupy, resinous amber. It's a clean, crisp, musky amber. Powdery, woody, but super yummy and super sexy as well. But I find the fragrances of this house to be elegant. They're not overwhelming. They're fragrances, they're unique smells, but they won't overwhelm. If you're looking for beast mode, I personally wouldn't call this house beast mode. There's fragrances that are stronger than others, but if you're looking for something like super intense, long-lasting room fillers, I personally wouldn't go to Ormonde Jayne. But if you're looking for something classy, as I said, very elegant, I would definitely go through the fragrances of this house. But it's very ambery here, Ambre Royal. It's very musky, it's powdery, it's woody, and of course spicy as well. Definitely check that out. Watch my full review of this. I have a full review of that. And there's a playlist on the channel as well of the fragrances from this house. So you can actually click the playlist and watch all the fragrances. But watch all the videos of the fragrances. But the next fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is Arabesque. I believe we featured Arabesque in our Scent Club kit. I'm sorry, not a Scent Club kit, but a mystery box kit. And sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. But Arabesque is a fruity, musky, floral rose oud fragrance, hence the name Arabesque. There's mossy touches and also patchouli touches under there. Now, this might remind you of other rose and oud themed fragrances, but there is a certain DNA that runs across this house that always defaults to me thinking classy, elegant, the way they're crafted. Nothing is just like super dense and overwhelming. I know some people love those. I do love them, but I don't turn to Ormonde Jayne for those kind of fragrances. I turn to this house if I want fragrances that are elegant, very classy. There's a very British quality about them, even though this fragrance, Arabesque, is Middle Eastern inspired because, you know, it's got rose in here, you've got oud, there's a lightly fruitiness under there, there's muskiness. There's also mossiness here, I think. I'm getting a bit of mossiness thrown in. This one definitely will satisfy. But once again, it's an oud fragrance. It's a rose oud combo. There's a ton of those out there. So that will be familiar. And then also, if you're familiar with the DNA of this house, you'll be familiar with the way the fragrance wears as well. So the fragrances do remind me of one another, but all going in different directions because they all have different notes and things like that. So that is Arabesque from the house of Ormonde Jayne. Let me know if you're familiar with it. Let me know if you got the mystery box. It was last year, I think towards the summer is when we launched that mystery box that featured that. But the next fragrance, we've got BYZANCE. Are you familiar with BYZANCE? This is kind of vanillic, woody, musky. There's a light milkiness or creaminess in there as well. It's super spicy and powdery, and eventually becomes a bit leathery when it's drying down. But you're going to experience some amber. For me, it's not my all-time favorite fragrance from this house, but I think it'll satisfy for those folks that look for something complex, but very woody, spicy, musky, milky. There's it's very powdery as well. But there's when you're smelling it, it almost smells like creaminess, not custard, but a little bit more watery, milky cream, and a bit of spice on top. And of course, as the fragrance develops, you're getting the ambery effect, the vanillic, the musky, woody, leathery. Again, it's not my all-time favorite, BYZANCE. Let me know if you're familiar with it. If you like it, what do you like about that? If you don't like it, what do you not like about that? Okay, one of my all-time favorites of this house is called Evernia. Yep, that's it. The fourth fragrance I'm talking about is Evernia. So I actually am a bit late discovering, discovering this fragrance. It's been about 3.5 years when I discovered this fragrance, and it's a great fragrance. First off, total Ormonde Jayne DNA. Also, it's quite masculine leaning. It's very mossy. Evernia refers to or means moss or oak moss. But also, it's quite spicy and smells of aromatic woods like cypress, pine, these kind of smells. And I think it's the way the fragrance is blended together to give you this kind of an effect. So it's very spicy. There's also muskiness and mossiness, as I said, but lots of aromatics, aromatic woods, maybe some herbs thrown in. Under there, you really can pick up the Ormonde Jayne DNA. This might come off a bit boring, I think. Not as exciting, but there's a little bit of a Christmas tree-like effect happening, and I think I'm getting that because I'm reminded of aromatic woods. And more about the actual leaves on the trees, you know, pine and cypress and things like that. That's what it reminds me. But it's quite spicy, super, super spicy. There's definitely a pepperiness in there. But if you like the idea of mossy fragrances, woody fragrances, definitely check that out. I almost feel like there's juniper in there as well, because there's a smell with juniper. I'm very curious. I actually look for juniper and I smell it. You know, the cypress leaves, the pine needles and things like that. It smells really great. If you like the idea of mossy fragrances, definitely try Evernia. And let me know if you're a fan of it. Have you tried it? So I do have to say the Evernia is an eau de parfum, as you can see right there. The Ambre Royal is also an eau de parfum. The Arabesque is also eau de parfum. BYZANCE, also eau de parfum. But the next fragrance is Frangipani. It's a parfum. So higher concentration for this one, I guess. Okay. Frangipani is plumeria. It's a tropical floral note. And this is also quite fruity and watery. I believe this has some watery notes, like maybe lotus flower, but there's a major watery, dewy effect happening here. It's super, well, I was going to say spring flowers, so I do get a fusion of spring flowers and also tropical flowers together. But there's also a bit of amber and musk thrown in. It's very fresh, but it does kind of, you know, thicken up and densen up and get warmer as it's drying down. But up top, it's fruity, it's floral, it's watery. It's almost like either rained on or dewy kind of floral notes together with spring floral notes. And the Frangipani is a tropical floral. The thing I'm not getting with this one, though, even though it's Frangipani and I kind of get like a tropical sunscreeny kind of vibe, I'm not getting that with this one much. But it smells really lovely. And there's a juiciness about it, a crispness about it, and clean freshness about it. Let me know if you're familiar with Frangipani Parfum. I'm not understanding why this is a parfum and the others are eau de parfum. But I like it. Just am not getting a lot of... Although I think the Frangipani is back there, the texture of the Frangipani is appearing, but it's covered up with the watery effect of the watery flowers and like the spring flowers. I think there's linden blossom in here in the notes. Anyway, that is Frangipani from Ormonde Jayne. Let me know if you're familiar with that. The next fragrance is GATSBY 22. One thing I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, I'm not 100% sure all of these fragrances are selling currently, so double check. I'm just talking to you guys about all of the fragrances I have from one brand. So this next one is GATSBY 22, most likely referring to the Great Gatsby. And if it is this focusing on gin? Because it's very crisp and fresh. I'm not sure I'm getting, well, I'm getting a little bit of like juniper, but not so super strong. It's very, very fresh and citrusy. You guys familiar with GATSBY 22? Very fresh and citrusy, plus a bit musky, clean. And it's giving me some woods as well. This seems extremely simplistic. Super, super simplistic, actually. It's like somebody that's looking for fresh fragrances to wear. It's not so exciting to me. It's pleasant, but it's not one that I rush out to wear. But if I want something clean and crisp, fresh, but it's really hot out, I might pull for it. But I prefer some of the other fragrances from the house much more than Gatsby 22. But honestly, it's got a lot of citruses here. It's very, very citrusy. All right. Next, one of my favorites from the house. This is, let's see, Kashmir 22. I'm sorry, why am I saying Kashmir 22? It's Gatsby 22. This is just Kashmir. So this has a little bit of the DNA of Evernia in here. I feel like whatever notes that they've used in Evernia are also used here in Kashmir. There's a peppery quality about it. There's a musky quality about it. There's an amber resinous quality about it. And it's also very, very powdery. Is that the reason why I like this one? Because it reminds me of Evernia a little bit. They do smell a bit similar. Have you guys compared these two? This is Kashmir. This is Evernia. Do they remind you of one another? Let me see the strip for Evernia. Where did I put it? Did I drop it? It's strange. All right, I'm gonna spray two more. I think I might have mixed up my strips. Let me spray Evernia first. Evernia doesn't get as musky as Kashmir does. Okay, there are similarities for sure. They go in different directions. I think they've created these two fragrances with similar ingredients, but obviously the formula is different. So they're reminding you of one another a little bit, but they're not identical. The Kashmir is so super sexy and musky, but still dry, kind of ambery, powdery, very musky. And the Evernia is definitely giving you the like pine and cypress kind of aromatic woods with moss and peppery notes, powdery still, and very, very woody. Both of them are really, really great. I love those two. So that's Kashmir, and that is Evernia. Let me know if you're familiar with these two. Let me move some of these strips. Okay, the next one is called LEVANT. Are you guys familiar with LEVANT? So this is a fresh fragrance that does remind me a little bit of Fleur Narcotique from Ex Nihilo. It's super fruity. At least I'm getting fruits, but maybe it's flowers that's mixed with citruses that's giving me this kind of an effect. But it's so juicy, like there's a juicy quality about it. It's still very powdery, but it's bright and happy. But it reminds me of Fleur Narcotique, but it kind of reminds me of Quentin Biche's creations, because he created Fleur Narcotique. He also created Neroli Amara from Van Cleef & Arpels, which Levant also reminds me of. I wonder if he had a secret hand in doing Levant. There is a little bit of an underlying candy quality in here. And this one does lean feminine for sure. But if you can wear flowers and citruses together with a little bit of a fruitiness, I think you'll be satisfied with it. There's definitely a bit of an island breeze kind of an effect as well. It's a very breezy fragrance. It's quite nice. Really, really wonderful. That is Levant. Let me know if you're familiar with that. The next fragrance I think is one of the most popular from this house. It's called Montabaco Parfum. So I believe this has changed from Montabaco Parfum to Montabaco Intensivo. Is that correct? Let me know if you guys are familiar with that. So there's tea here, there's tobacco, but it's got a very autumn-like vibe. It's clean. It gives me a little bit of Ambre Royal vibe as well. You guys familiar with, well, I already spoke about it. It's very, very spicy, and it's got woods and citruses as well. If you're looking for tobacco that's like tobacco vanille, you're not going to get that from Montabaco Intensivo, which, like I said, my bottle says Montabaco Parfum, but I believe they've changed the name to Montabaco Intensivo. And I think the Montabaco, since it is the most popular, if you watch my video with Linda of Ormonde Jayne, she'll mention that they do all these special limited editions of Montabaco, which I don't have any of them here because they're so limited edition. Retailers, if they order them, they only get one shipment, and once they sell out, and the entire company runs out of those as well. But I would say it's a quality offering, but not so exciting to me. But people seem to love it. It's an easy fragrance to wear, I think. Also leans masculine, but it's crisp, it's clean, it's spicy, it's woody, and it's got the tobacco, and it's got tea in there as well. So it's smooth. But I think it's pleasant. It's just not a wow fragrance for me, but I can see why people like it because this could be a crowd pleaser. It's simplistic. It's not over the top. It's tobacco, but it doesn't get dirty and ashy and smoky. Plus, it's got that smooth tea note in there. So let me know if you're a fan of Montabaco. Add a comment below. Next up, we've got Muscat. So probably referring to the Middle East once again. And this has Oudh, most likely. I believe, from what I remember, this is a kind of a fruity. Ooh, this is really good, actually. A bit smoky, fiery. Definitely oudhy. Maybe a bit saffrony, leathery. And it's now getting a bit fruity as well. I think this one has dates in the notes. And as far as dates goes in fragrances, it doesn't create a super fruitiness, for me at least. I love eating dates, by the way. It's one of my favorite. If I don't want to eat a dessert and I want something sweet, I go for dates. But I'm not getting the dates like super strong in this. But it's good. It's classy, just like the brand. Now, this is much more complex and very Middle Eastern style. So in comparison to Montabaco, this is a bit denser, much more intense, whereas the Montabaco was very crisp, clean, but not heavy. And I can see why that could be very popular. People like those kind of fragrances. They don't have to put a lot of thought into wearing the fragrance. It smells great. It's clean, it's crisp, grab and go kind of a thing. With Muscat, you have to think about it a little bit more. It is more complex. It does have smoky touches. It's oud. There's a little bit of funk in this oud, but very wearable oud. Yeah, Muscat. Let me know if you're familiar with Muscat. Are you a fan? All right, next up we've got Nawab of Oudh. This one actually is also a parfum, and it's got the number 2 on it. And as you can see here, with the Montabaco, it's got the number 4 on it. Do I have another one that has a number? I don't think so. What the heck? There's something floating in my bottle. Look at this. You guys see something floating in my bottle? What the heck is that? So Nawab of Oudh is ultra fiery, hot, spicy, rose oud combo from what I remember. But once again, the Ormonde Jayne DNA is 100% there. That's super sexy. Now, Muscat seems a lot more dense, and Nawab of Oudh seems more connected to the Montabaco in the wearing. It doesn't have a thickness about it. It's not super dense. So it's much easier for me to wear this one in comparison to the Muscat. The Nawab of Oudh acts more like Montabaco, where I said it was more crowd-pleasing, easy to wear, grab-and-go kind of. Whereas Muscat seems more complex. You have to put thoughts into it. It might come off heavy with certain situations. That's not the same with Nawab of Oudh. But you know what? That thing floating in this bottle is driving me crazy. I don't know what the heck it is. How did it go there? But to me also, Nawab of Oudh is more in line with the DNA of the entire house to me, because I can smell the DNA there 100%. Sure, it might remind you of some of the other fragrances, but it's wearing differently. This one's definitely very spicy. The other thing also, I can get more oud out of Muscat than I'm getting it out of Nawab of Oudh. That's actually quite good. Bit simplistic, but really lovely. I think the kind of notes in here are actually washing down or washing off the strength of some of the oudy kind of more stronger notes. Because I believe this is acting a bit aldehydic. There's a major cleanness about this. Super clean for an oud. Whereas I said with the Muscat, I got some light dirtiness, but really good. With the Nawab, very much in line with other Ormonde Jayne fragrances. Super clean to wear. And let me know if you've sampled Nawab of Oudh. Have you compared it to Muscat? Do you get the differences? They're so different, and both of them have oud, which is interesting. Nawab of Oudh also fits more in line with Arabesque, because Arabesque is also oud. But Arabesque, the rose stands out a lot more for me than in Nawab of Oudh. But as far as wearing goes, Arabesque and Nawab of Oudh wear kind of similarly, but Muscat, once again, is super intense and stronger take on an oud from this house. So let me know if you've compared them, if you've tested them. Do you like these fragrances or do you not like them? Add a comment below. The next fragrance, we're going to the house of, well, we're not going to the house, we're still in the house of Ormonde Jayne. This is an Ormonde Jayne deep dive video. This is Ormonde Man. So I do have a full review of this on the channel. Whoa, my bottle cap has gotten kind of gross. Got to clean that up. So this one is a super aromatic and woody, classy masculine offering. Clean, crisp, woody, aromatic, and spicy. Kind of in line with the Ormonde Man. I'm sorry, kind of in line with the Montabaco. This is Ormonde Man. And the thing is, I've never really experienced Ormonde Women. How does it compare to Ormonde Man? Does it go more floral? But Ormonde Man to me is super crisp. I feel like there's juniper in here. It's giving it a very clean, slightly metallic vibe. But it's very aromatic and spicy. It's a bit ice cold. Very lovely fragrance. Classy. But once again, easy to wear. It's kind of grab and go. Not like you have to put a little thought into wearing Muscat. You'll smell great wearing Ormonde Man, I think. And if you're into juniper, which I'm getting juniper from this, you will appreciate this fragrance. It's got a clean, crisp vibe about it. Juniper always gives me that kind of a vibe. It's a clean and crisp, metallic, steel, cold, icy. All those come to mind. But there's a lot of spice there, spice there for sure. So that is Ormonde Man. There's nothing floating in this bottle. So I don't think this is the older bottoms. So that's Ambre Royal. I reviewed Ambre Royal like maybe 2017 or 2018. Same thing with Ormonde Man, somewhere around there. If you want to catch those videos. Even the TOLU has kind of a similar bottom. But the new fragrances, well, the new one does too. So I guess they're still using that because, yeah, they do. They still use it. Same here. This is Vanilla Mistral. But some of these smaller bottles are a bit different. All right. So we just finished Ormonde Man, a great classy masculine offering. We've got Osmanthus here. Osmanthus Stone Fruit Effect. This one's dirty too. I got to clean the tops of my bottles, the sprayers. So Osmanthus is a flower consumed as a tea in China. I don't know if it's consumed as a tea here. I've never seen it, but I think you can buy it off of online. And usually, typically in fragrances, it does go fruity. So it's a fruity floral combo, I think. But sometimes it also goes leathery. And when it goes leathery is when I don't quite like it because it's not my favorite kind of leather. But I do enjoy it when it goes fruity. And this is very fresh and fruity and floral. It's almost like there's a fizziness here. Effervescent. So it's almost like a fruit, kind of a fizzy drink. Apricot, that's what we get with the Osmanthus, or stone fruit, peaches, nectarines, but more apricots to me. That's what it smells like more. Quite effervescent, very clean though. Once again, it's very, very similar to other Ormonde Jayne fragrances. Very elegant, classy, super fresh, clean and crisp, but super fruity and floral. I don't think this one actually ever went leathery on skin. I've worn quite a bit of it. It's more on the fresh, fruity, floral side. And again, sometimes I don't quite like the leather that they get from Osmanthus. It's got a weird smell to it. I mean, not all the times, but sometimes I've smelled some Osmanthus leather fragrances that I didn't quite like. But, you know, not all the time though, as I said. But I definitely enjoy Osmanthus when it goes fruity. I do have a video on the channel of Osmanthus fragrances. Let's move on to Tanger next. Are you familiar with Tanger? It's almost like tangerine. Tanger. So Tanger is super citrusy. I wonder if that's what they're referring to. But no, there's a city. Fruity, citrusy. Not fruity, I'm sorry. There's a resinous quality about this one. It's not necessarily fruity. It's more, so for some reason, the resins kind of tricked my nose. But you spray this on and it becomes super citrusy. And then all of a sudden it's changing directions, becoming deeper, kind of ambery resinous. But once again, it's super, super clean. I think there's a freshness about this that you can wear it in the summertime in the heat. There's a very citrus forward fragrance. But there's also some flowers in here, I think. Are you familiar with Tanger? Let me know. Tanger provides an amber resinous experience for sure. And the other thing I should say about this one, it does go a bit woody and musky, like typical Ormonde Jayne musky notes that I find in a lot of their fragrances. Let me know if you're familiar with Tanger at a comment below. Next, one of my favorite fragrances from this house, it's TOLU. Love it. TOLU referring to TOLU balsam. So there's TOLU balsam and Peru balsam, creating a balsamic effect in fragrances, which, you know, it's connected to the amber. So it's quite balsamic, but not heavy and cloying once again. It's Ormonde Jayne in the end. But when you first spray it, you're getting a dosage of orange blossom. So it's kind of a citrusy balsamic fragrance. In this case, a citrusy floral. But it's a lovely, lovely wear. I absolutely love it. It's a great combination. And not many fragrances featuring TOLU balsam. So it's kind of highlighting this note that you might not be too familiar with. But if you want to be familiar with that note of TOLU balsam, this is the fragrance to try to kind of pinpoint what TOLU smells like. Because it is a pretty prominent note here. But you also have a prominent quality of orange blossom in this as well. Along the way, it's spicy, it's resinous, it's ambery for sure. Maybe some light woods in there. But in the end, I quite enjoy this one a lot. It's a great, great fragrance from the house. Definitely a top 5. So that is TOLU. I'm going to do a countdown at the end of the video. We'll see where it all ends up. I hope it's a top 5. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, next we've got the latest Ormonde Jayne fragrance that's launched for Neiman Marcus. This is Vanilla Mistral. So Vanilla Mistral is another vanilla fragrance. And if you caught my video comparing the two, nothing like Vanille des Afriques Intensivo. I think it says Intensivo. Yeah. This, to me also, even though the word vanilla is in there, it doesn't act as vanillic as I wanted it to be. To me, it acts very figgy. Fig fruity, green fig leafy. But there's an overdose of woods in here. And I feel like you've blended the woods and the vanilla together, so it kind of crosses each other out, but you get this combo of woods and vanilla together, and you're sprinkling the fruitiness of the figs. There's a little bit of pomegranates there, and dashes of greenness from the fig leaves as well. So you're getting fruitiness, it's powdery, it's a bit green, it's vanillic. So it's a nice combo, but between the two vanillas, I prefer Vanille des Afriques Intensivo, but this is pleasant. But once again, it's not your traditional vanilla. It's not super gourmand. It's not, you know, sticky, caramelly, sugary, tooth-rotting, cakey, cookie kind of gourmand. It's gourmand light. You've got the fruity touches. You've got the vanilla nicely blended with the woods. And you're throwing in some greenness. And it's definitely very powdery as well. Have you gotten your nose on this one? I don't know if any stores sells them at Neiman Marcus. Because I don't think well, we have a Neiman Marcus here. It's not at that store. And I don't know which stores sells the Ormonde Jayne fragrances in store, because there's a lot of fragrances that Neiman Marcus carries, but they're online only. So some stores might carry this, so you can physically go in and smell it, or you're going to have to order it online. Let me know if you've gotten your nose on Vanilla Mistral. I like the inspiration for that. The figs is working perfectly, but once again, it's not as good to me as Vanille des Afriques, because I find it to be super sexy. I don't find Vanilla Mistral to be sexy at all, but I find this one to be super sexy. That was definitely one of my favorite fragrances of last year. And once again, it's not your traditional vanilla. It's not sugary. It's not caramelly. It's not sticky. It's not overly sweet. I think that Vanilla Mistral is probably even a little sweeter than Vanille des Afriques. But both of them, even though they have vanilla in them, are not highlighting the vanilla as much. But they both work great. But in the end, Vanille des Afriques Intensivo is the one that wins it for me, because I absolutely love the way it smells. And I think this is also a redo of a fragrance like the last fragrance I'm going to talk to you about. I think the fragrance that this used to be was an iris focused fragrance because there's a lot of iris or orris in this fragrance. It's super iris forward. When I put my nose to it, I'll also get a whiteness about it, a cleanness. Maybe it's the iris or orris butter. There are spices in here as well. It's quite powdery. There's some floral notes in there, and there's some woods as well. But super awesome. Really, really great fragrance from the house. I absolutely love it. This actually might be my favorite, followed by Evernia. But we'll get to the rankings soon. Let me know if you're a fan of this. Do you like it as much as I do? Do you consider it a bit more masculine take on vanilla? What do you like about it if you do like it? What do you hate about it if you don't like it? This is a Parfum concentration, by the way. That's why it also lasts longer on me in comparison to Vanilla Mistral. But it's an addicting kind of smell. So awesome. I always mention it reminds me of mastic resin. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It's a resin that's used in the Middle East. It comes from Greece, like some islands. It's like a tree resin. But there's a chewing gum made with mastic resin. And the smell reminds me of the taste of that chewing gum. But mastic resin is also used in cooking along with perfumes. But I don't think this has mastic resin in the notes. This is more iris, but it gives me mastic resin vibes. I think the fragrance that's mastic resin focused, I believe, is from the house of, what's the name of the house? Sisley has a fragrance called Oudh Ikar, I-K-A-R, which I need to get a bottle of because I've owned it once before and I finished it. Now I need to get a bottle. That fragrance is a mastic resin focused fragrance. And for me, this does remind me a little bit of that with a lot of vanilla. But so good. So special. I love that fragrance. I'm now curious to get my nose on the previous version of it, but obviously it's no longer. Anyway, let's move on to the last fragrance. It's Vetiveria. Vetiveria is a vetiver focused fragrance. And I believe this is a redo of Zizan. I think that's what Linda told me or told me on camera. If you haven't caught that video, please go catch it. I should have it linked in the video. So this is a vetiver focused fragrance. It's quite green, but also it's clean and sharp. There's a lot of juniper here, I believe. Excuse me. My voice is going. I believe there's a lot of crispness from that juniper, but this also has lime, so it's quite juicy, but it's also dry, woody, grassy, earthy quite a bit. It's crisp. There's an herbal quality about it. There's a grassy quality about it. Slightly vegetal as well, but leans masculine, but still having the same DNA as the entire collection of fragrances from Ormonde Jayne. Let me know if you've sampled it. I think this also has Timur pepper or Timut pepper. So it's quite peppery. There's a peppery spice about it. There's a zest and a zing. This one actually is Eau de Parfum. Not a Parfum. But it's solid. It does lean masculine. It's Vetiveria from the house of Ormonde Jayne. And that's the last fragrance. Let's do the ranking now. So, my number one, Vanille des Afriques. Hands down. So awesome. So number two, Evernia. Very close with Kashmir at number... I think I'm going to put Kashmir at number 2, Evernia at number 3. I know things are changing around a little bit. So, followed by Ambre Royal at number 5. What else? TOLU has now moved to number 6. Let's do a top 10 for you guys. Ormonde Man is at number 7. Levant at number 8. Well, I'm running out of space here. Let's see what else. Muscat would be, wait, where did I put, wait a minute. I think we got a mistake here. Sorry, this is on camera. I don't usually do that, but okay, let's do it over. So Vanille des Afriques at number 1. We've got Kashmir at number 2. We've got Evernia at number 3. Ambre Royal at number 4. TOLU at number 5. Something was wrong here. So Ormonde Jayne at number 6. Nawab of Oudh at number 7. Muscat at number 8. Levant at number 9. What's left? I'm going to put Arabesque at number 10. So that's my ranking of Ormonde Jayne fragrances. What are your favorites? Do you like any of the ones I have featured in today's video? There's 18 total fragrances. So I hope to get more and we can do another video, but this will be enough for a while, I think. But if there's anything missing in my collection, let me know what it is. Add a comment below so I'll look into getting it. And again, let me know your favorite fragrances from this list or ones that I did not mention. Why do you like them? Why do you not like them? And what do you like about Ormonde Jayne? Do you what makes it a great house for you? And if you're not a fan of Ormonde Jayne, do let me know that as well. Do add a comment below. So thanks so much for watching today's video, guys. If you want to have me do more deep dives on brands, and again, I don't have a lot of everything from all brands, but I can do these deep dives, longer form videos of, you know, fragrances from brands and the amount of fragrances I have from each brand. But if there's a brand you want to see, let me know, add a comment below. Also, you can, you know, if there's a theme for a video that you want to see as a deep dive, you can add, you know, list a comment, or you want to see a notes or a perfumer, do let me know, and I'll do my best to do those videos. By the time this video airs, I'll probably be traveling, so any suggestions that you guys offer will have to be done after I get back. But again, thanks so much for watching today's video, guys. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Click that bell icon so you don't miss out on any future videos. And please give a thumbs up for this video to help with the algorithm. See you guys later. Bye-bye.